Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, December 5th, 2016. Looking at the percentage of normal as far as precipitation, unfortunately we don't have the data in for Nevada, but we do have it for the remainder of the Great Basin. You can see looking at the past 7 days, really on average the Great Basin is below average as far as precipitation. Looking back in the 14-day period, you can see that portions of Utah and the Arizona Strip are above normal, but on the whole the Great Basin is below normal as far as precipitation over the past 7 and 14 days. The water vapor satellite shows a low pressure system moving out of the area today that will continue to slide eastward. So looking at the ventilation index for today, the mixing will be the best across the eastern part of the Great Basin where we are closest to that low pressure system. If we look in a little more detail, you can see winds are elevated across the eastern part of the Great Basin, as well as better mixing heights. As we move into Tuesday, a second system will begin to drop into the area, and winds will pick up as that system moves into the area. You can see that the ventilation index will be the highest across the southern part of the Great Basin. And looking in more detail, you can see those higher transport winds across the southern part of the Great Basin. Looking in more detail, you can see those elevated transport winds across the southern part of the Great Basin, as well as higher mixing heights across the south, and so that's why we will see the better mixing further south on Tuesday. As we move into Wednesday, high pressure will build into the area, and that will really drop ventilation indexes, or the ventilation index. You can see the red here on the map is really port-of-fair mixing. And looking in more detail, you can see really light transport winds on Wednesday, and not very great mixing heights. If we look at the Utah Forecast Clearing Index from the National Weather Service, you can see the same trend with the better mixing further east today, a little bit of an improvement across the south on Tuesday, and then a big drop on Wednesday. If we look at the 3-day precipitation accumulation from the WPC, you can see that we will see a little bit of precipitation across the northern half of the Great Basin with those storms over the next few days. As we move into Thursday, ventilation indices will really take a nosedive. You can see pretty much the entire Great Basin is in that port-of-fair category. Moving into Friday, things don't look much better with high pressure continuing to build across the Great Basin. As we move into Saturday, there is a potential for some improvement, mainly across the south and east portions of the area. And by Sunday, it looks like it is kind of a mix of port-of-fair to fair to excellent, depending on where you are in the Great Basin. In the 4 to 5 day period, the WPC is calling for better precipitation accumulations across the north. You can see them forecasting in excess of an inch across portions of the northern areas in the Great Basin. Again, these 4 and 5 day precipitation forecasts are subject to change, but this is what we're looking at right now. Finally, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for above normal temperatures across the southern part of the Great Basin and above normal precipitation across the northern part of the Great Basin in the 8 to 14 day period. So that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.